Good evening, and welcome to this regular meeting. And we're underway at 7 p.m. We'll start off the agenda tonight with the invocation, and Councilmember Blue will do the invocation for us, and then we'll have the pledges to the American and Texas flag. So if you please stand for those two things.
Heavenly Father, we meet this evening in smaller and more distant numbers, but no less dedicated in spirit. And it's in that spirit that we ask your guidance. Give us your guidance that we may do the right thing for our city and its citizens. As we change our normal routines in this time of pandemic, let us always remember the most important things: health, family, community, and above all else, your unending love. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And I would like to point out that we are mindful of the social distancing requirements, and so we're all approximately 6 feet from one another, thus negating the need for a mask during the meeting. However, if any council member would choose to wear a mask, that's certainly okay. And then also Councilmember Fredericks, once again, is with us by phone. Because of his profession as a pharmacist, he feels like he is more likely to be exposed to COVID-19, and so he's chosen to sit out these meetings and attend by phone. So, Paul, are you there?
We're having technical difficulties, so I'm trying to get it to work.
For everybody?
For everybody.
Oh, okay.
So give me just one
Well, now that
second.
we're started, we'll just sit back and let you see if you can figure it
Let me see
out.
if I can get them on the line.
Okay.
Can you hear me, caller?
Is everything plugged in the way it's supposed to be?
We're trying.
Caller, can you hear me? No. They can hear me, but we can't hear them.
Have you checked your little speaker deals?
Yep.
Have you
I'm gonna try
knocked it around on the,
Try one other thing.
have you tried dropping them on the floor? Maybe that would fix them.
Yeah, but I can't hear you.
If those two can't figure it out, there's something serious. Because they're pretty sharp at this stuff.
Okay, can you hear me now? They can't hear us.
I thought they could hear us, but we can't hear them.
We can't hear them.
Oh.
Lena, can you call them on a cell phone and put it on speaker?
Yeah, we can do that. I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to zoom in on the
Speakers too.
Okay, so Jeff says that he can hear y'all.
Yeah, but we can't hear them. That's what we're trying to figure out. Yeah. That's it. It's connected to that. And that's connected to this one. Can't hear them.
Yep.
Paul said he can hear just fine.
Hold on.
Oh, you texted him?
What if we do that now? Hold on. Okay, now can you hear me? Yeah. So we're gonna have to, if he wants to call one of our cell phones,
Well, we can can't we add the go-to also on this so that, and put it next to there so we can have all 4 people at the same time? I can download go-to on,
What, 4 people?
can you
I
have,
think
I'm
we
gonna
have
close it,
two
and then can you
citizens to
have
be
Mr.
heard that
Felty
signed
call
up.
in again?
Oh,
And then
And
Paul,
Paul
I don't know
call in
who the
again?
fourth would be.
He can hear you, so you can just talk to him, he can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's texting that he can hear you fine.
Yeah, no.
Okay, he said he'll call right back.
I'm gonna open it back up again and see.
You see that? Yeah.
Start.
You ever go down and work with your son?
Can you hear me now?
Feed store?
Hello?
I mean, to go work when he needs help.
plug in this. And then we'll just put him on that speaker.
He doesn't trust me to carry 50-pound bags.
I was just gonna say, put your work in the warehouse.
A lot younger than me, throw 50-pound bags
Oh,
around.
man, it's like, wow, used to be able to do it, but
Yeah, but
not
I
anymore.
can't hear them.
I can carry 1 or 2.
I had about 5 sacks of ready mix, which weigh 80 pounds. They used to weigh 90. And just 5 bags, and my back hurt so bad the next day.
no, we finally have some people who want to talk to us, so we can't get them in.
They can't.
Yeah, you're gonna get really, really bad feedback.
What's the verdict?
Hello? That'll work. Okay.
Who's that?
You can unmute him from there, can't you? Ooh, we're gonna get feedback.
Hello, I can hear you.
You can hear them?
Yes,
Okay, okay. Okay.
Okay, so we have you guys on the cell phone. Who's on the line? It's Paul and who else?
Jeff Felty.
Okay. All right, if you guys can just mute yourself until we get to citizens to be heard and then the public hearing part. Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, that sounds like it'll work. Next up, then, we have our public hearing. We'll open this public hearing at 10 after 7. This public hearing is to give all interested persons the right to appear and be heard on an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Helotes, Texas, continuing a curfew for minors under 17 years of age and over 10 years of age, providing for a triennial review of the ordinance and adopting an effective date. And we did not have anyone sign up to speak at the public hearing, so we will close it at 7:11. Next up, we have citizens to be heard. And the first one that was turned in is Andrew Height. Did Andrew check in? Okay. Next up then, we have Jeff Felty. So if you would, when you begin, give your name and address, and then you have 3 minutes to speak before ending your citizens to be heard. So go ahead.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Jeff Felty, 11615 Shotgun Lane in Helotes Crossing. Okay, I am calling in tonight as citizens to be heard due to the cancellation of the brush pickup. I did a freedom of information request yesterday for a copy of the contract, as well as any and all payments to and from C6 for the city. I have received a copy of the contract. I have not received a copy of any of the payments to or from the city in regards to C6. In accordance with the contract, what I found in there is that C6 is supposed to provide us as citizens 2 trash pickups per year at no additional cost. It's included in our monthly service fee. I contacted C6 about the cancellation of the brush pickup. They told me that the city canceled it. It was not their doing. And I said, well, I'm requesting a refund for the services that they're not rendering. And they said that they're not going to give a refund. And I said, well, that's not acceptable. And they said, well, that's just the way it is. If the city did cancel it, then we need to figure out why and what the city is going to do to get something back to the citizens then. If it's $5 or $8, $10 a month, or per pickup that we did, then that should go back to the citizens. I also did find in there in the city contract that the city gets paid 6% of everything that we are billed as citizens. So it seems like it would be that the city does not want to make them give us a refund because the city's going to lose out on its 6%. Now, 6% of what they bill us, if they gave us, $5 back, that's not much. But when you do every household in the city, it is. I also found in there that the city can have them rectify any situation within 10 days or their contract could be terminated. So I think that the city council needs to move this forward, and they need to tell C6 to pick up our brush that they've already scheduled for. If they are not going to do that, then I think that y'all need to direct them to issue a credit on everybody's invoice. That is all that I have for tonight. I'm approaching my 3 minutes. Thank y'all for letting me talk tonight.
You bet. Thank you.
Good Lord. You're loud.
Okay. Andrew still hasn't gotten on? Okay. That finishes up our citizens to be heard. So next up, we have our consent agenda, items 4 and 5. Approval of the minutes and approval of the quarterly investment report. So if you have any questions on either one of those, we can address the questions, or if you want to pull one of them, we can. Otherwise, I would entertain a motion in a second to approve consent agenda items 4 and 5.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve consent agenda items 4 and 5.
We have a motion from Byes. Do we have a second?
Second from Holmes.
Second from Holmes. No discussion being requested. We'll call the question. All in favor of approving consent agenda items 4 and 5, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Consent agenda items 4 and 5 are approved unanimously. That takes us to individual items for consideration, and first up is item number 6, presentation by Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates, P.C., and discussion of an action on the fiscal year ending 2019 comprehensive annual financial report. And we have Kimberly Roach on the phone. Kim, you're there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You want to try and put that a little closer? Here, let me put it here.
It gives you
Think
some
so?
feedback from all our speakers.
Think so?
Can we turn them on?
Marion's trying to find the sweet spot here where we don't get feedback, so Kim, just sit tight.
Not a problem.
I think we're up over 200 decibels right now.
I think right here.
Selena, can you turn on our microphones
Wait,
while we listen?
yeah, but people are watching us on TV.
It's a Helotes comedy hour.
Okay.
About now.
Okay, Kimberly, I think we're going to have to make do with where Marion's standing right now, so the floor is yours, and I'm assuming we have a PowerPoint also.
We can, yeah, we can hear you.
I should have brought my remote speaker, just attach it to the phone.
Yeah, you can start.
Great. Well, first and foremost, Mayor and Council, I'm so sorry to not be there this evening in person. What a world we're living in right now, but I love the opportunity to try new ways to approach technology, and I'm learning a lot myself this year. So that being said, in the effort of wanting to make this go smoothly, I decided to try to do a PowerPoint. I believe I tried this a couple years ago. It seemed to work well. I hope by now you have all your bound copies of the audit report, and I'm certainly happy to go over any questions. One thing I kind of hate is I hate feeling like I can't see you all to see if you have a question, so please stop me. I'll try to do pauses and breaks to allow you to let me know if you have any questions. But otherwise, I'm going to kind of stick with the PowerPoint and provide any additional insight from the report that is necessary or any explanation that I can use to support what's in the PowerPoint. Okay, so that being said, on the second slide, Selena, are you going through these slides for me, I guess?
No, because nothing's working right now.
No, for some reason our computer's not working. We're gonna have to.
We each have a hard copy of it.
We have a hard copy though.
Okay, hard copy, great. Okay, so on the slide that's titled Summary of Required Communications, of course, as always, we have our required communications that we are, that we're required to go over with management as well as council. So I wanted to bring these to your attention. Nothing too unusual this year. We always, of course, talk about your significant estimates. The estimates for the city this year actually remain the exact same items that you've had in the past. And the
Kim, let me interrupt you, just so council will know.
I muted you guys.
Oh, you did?
There's
Oh, okay.
bad feedback. Yeah.
Just tell her, Tabby, Kim, just so you'll know, Tabby Durr completed her training, and she's now a certified investment officer for the city.
Yes, sir, she did send me a copy of that.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Any other questions on that particular slide?
What slide are we on? I'm sorry, Kim.
Still on this
This is
summary?
Bert.
Still on this summary one?
Okay, I have a question. This is Bert, Councilmember Baez. Under significant disclosures, the employee retirement system, I don't understand. What are you saying? We didn't do something right there, or what? Do you know what?
No, sir, I apologize if that was the indication. That's not the case at all. We're simply here, we're just required to communicate things to you that are of note within the audit report, and so we're just saying that the disclosures that are required.
Oh, okay.
Based on just regular auditing standards, it's just a lot of information, and so that's why we consider it to be a significant disclosure.
Oh, okay. So we didn't do anything wrong. Okay. I understand.
No, sir, not at all.
All right.
So just in case, I believe that was Councilmember Baez that was asking which slide, but, so basically I'm moving now, unless there's any other questions on the summary of required communication, I'm moving to the next slide, which would be slide number 3. I know they're not numbered, I apologize, but it should be the one that starts selected financial data for the government-wide statement.
Go.
Okay.
Okay. So
This Councilmember Vise again. Whenever you said something about the city the city had to pay back sales tax?
Yes, sir. So you had several 380 agreements. Those are economic development.
Oh, okay, with 380s, okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. It didn't have anything to do with the lawsuit? Okay,
No, sir, no.
okay, okay.
The particular lawsuit shows as a long-term liability, so it's actually been excluded from this information.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. Are there any other questions on that particular slide? Okay. Well, as I mentioned just before, you did have that decrease in your fund balance, and that you can see that a little bit better in the picture on the following slide where you see the bar graph. Your revenues, you can see, came in under your budgeted revenues. Your actual revenues fell short, and your actual expenditures were actually higher than your budgeted expenditures. Now, some of the reasons for this is because your franchise fees, as well as your municipal court, those were your two types of revenues that fell short of the budget, and your total unfavorable variance from the budget. I know it's kind of hard to see from this graph, but the total unfavorable variance was about $239,000. And so really a lot of that came from the fact that those two particular items fell short. But a lot of that, I believe, was really the fact that the budget seemed a little aggressive on the revenue. So your court actual did come in a little lower than your prior fiscal year, but the reason for the budget shortfall, I think, was largely because the budget was being a little aggressive and hoping what the court revenues would bring in. As far as your expenditures, your total expenditures had an unfavorable variance compared to your final budget by $163,000. And a little bit of this was kind of spread between every department, because what happened was, right as I believe as Rick Schroeder was leaving the city, he did a final budget amendment, and it made sure that all the departments were under their final budget numbers at the time. Unfortunately, as we came in and we performed some audit adjustments, there were two particular adjustments that caused additional expenditures in almost every department across the board to go over those budget numbers because they had been so close previously. So a lot of it was, I think originally it seemed like the city was going to come in under budget, so these adjustments that were needed to be made caused them to go over budget. But again, in total, it was only $163,000 that went over budget, and honestly, $91,000 of that was not so much of an issue, more than just a timing issue, and that relates to, you had a debt service payment related to your fire truck and the ambulance lease that were done right at the end of August 2018. Because those particular vehicles were not received until fiscal year 19, we had to recognize 2 years worth of debt service payments on those capital leases in this particular year. But of course, the way the city would naturally budget, only one particular year was budgeted for. So that's $91,000 of that unfavorable variance. It just falls into the timing of when those lease payments were recognized. Any questions I can answer related to that?
No.
No, they don't have any questions.
Okay. Moving on. I also wanted to give you a little bit of a historical picture. Again, this is related just for the general fund. So you can see the 2017, the 2018, and the 2019 revenues, as well as the 2017, 2018, and 2019 expenditures. So there may be, oh, sorry, I think I'm hearing myself. So there may be some question as to kind of what was the influx there and the expenditures related to. Again, a lot of that is those 2 payments worth recognized for those lease payments on the fire truck and the ambulance. Again, knowing that was about $90,000. But in total, because this was the first year that those lease payments were recognized, the 2 years worth of those new lease payments on the fire truck and the ambulance represented about $180,000 worth of expenditures you would not have had in 2018. So not to say that that's a bad thing, just kind of the reason more for that increase in your expenditures. Also, you'll see that the revenues were more than comparable to 2017. The main things that had gone up from 2018 were within your taxes, as well as we showed miscellaneous revenue as an increase simply because the city changed the way they recognized the funds received from the marketplace days. It used to be shown as a reduction of an expenditure, and this is the first year that it was shown separately as a revenue. So that's another reason for that increase in revenue. Any questions on that?
Kim,
All
can you
right,
hear
well,
me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we figured the audio situation, so now you're on speaker.
Oh, okay, great. Everyone can still hear me okay?
Yes.
You bet.
Great. Thank you. Well, and just in time, but I am nearing the close, I promise. So just to see that same slide, but in actual numbers, if you'll go to the next slide, you'll see the actual change in your fund balance. So again, excuse me, I have a typo in here, I just now saw. So the first line there should be 930.19. That change in fund balance, again, was a decrease of $310,000, as I mentioned before. And again, a lot of that reasoning, it just being because you did have some more debt service lease payments to make this year. Your 930.18 did have a deficit of about $59,000, and your 930.17 year had a deficit of $104,000. So again, you know, the city is pretty much kind of breaking even within the general fund, or coming fairly close to. The main reason it didn't for 930.19, again, just those higher debt service payments related to the capital leases. Any questions on that?
Can you turn her down just a little?
No, Kim, I don't think they have any questions.
Yeah, we're good.
unless-
I'm gonna turn our mics back on. Can you?
Kim? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yes, you're good.
Mike?
Okay, so this last slide just being on the pension information. So the valuation date is based on the calendar year for TMRS, as they don't follow the 930 fiscal year. It's similar to the city. They have their own calendar year in, so that's why those valuation dates are 2018, 2017, and 2016. Those are true dates. Those are the most recent information we have. And so what you can see there is that as of December 31st, 2018, the city was about 86% funded, and your total net pension liability was just under $1 million. Now, you may be wondering what on earth happened from 2017 to 2018 to cause that liability to jump up so much, and of course, conversely, what caused your funding ratio to drop. And the main reason for that is not anything based on the city, nothing negative about the city. What happened is across the board, the contributions that all municipalities make to TMRS, those funds are then invested. And TMRS has their actuaries determine what they think the investment ratio will be, or what the investment return will be on those funds that have been paid in. And their estimates changed significantly from 2017 to 2018. And that was the main reason why you see that fluctuation the way you do. And that fluctuation would be seen for every city across the state of Texas. But in summary, I just more wanted to point out that even though that was a drop from 17, drop in your funding ratio, 86% is still a very nice place to be, in the sense that, comparatively speaking, what caused this standard to come into play a few years ago was that many cities would be much lower funded than that across the nation. Are there any questions?
No, we're good.
Did you hear that, Kim?
We're good, Kim. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I couldn't.
There was no questions.
No questions.
Okay. Well, again, I apologize for the unique way of presenting this audit tonight, but as always, it was a pleasure and an honor to get to work with the city, and I love working with you all as well, and sorry I couldn't be there in person to shake your hand, but very nice to at least, hear you again.
Kim, as always, we appreciate it, and even though we're really socially distancing with us and you, we appreciate your presentation, and if we wind up with any questions later, we'll pass them along to you.
Okay, certainly.
Okay, this is an action item because you still have to approve the budget as it was presented. So now that we've had the discussion, I would ask for a motion and a second to have any further discussion and then take action to approve the financial report or the audit.
Mayor, I make a motion, we discuss and take action on item number 6.
We have a motion from Buys. We have a second.
I'll second.
We have a second from Blue. So a motion from Buys, a second from Blue. Bert, did you have any further questions or anything?
No, I'd just like to thank Kim and Tabby and all the other people that worked on this. It sounds like we're still in pretty good shape.
Alex, anything?
No additional comments, thank you.
Alan?
No comments.
Cynthia? Okay, then the question is a yes vote will approve the audit, and a no approve will not approve it. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, Paul, go ahead. Did you say aye? I forgot to ask you if you had any discussion. Did you have any discussion? Paul?
He said the audio went dead.
Yes, that's what he just sent.
Ask him if he has any questions on the audit.
Can you say something and see if he hears you?
Hey, Paul, gig 'em.
He has no questions.
Okay. Did you vote yea or nay, Paul?
I have no idea. He's typing.
Paul, can you hear me?
No, don't do that.
Yes, I can now. I vote yay.
Yea? Okay, very good. Good to have you back. Okay, next up is item number 7, discussion of an action on an ordinance to continue the curfew for minors under 17 and over the age of 10, providing for a triennial review. So if we can have a motion and a second to discuss and take action on this, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we discuss and take action on item 7 as written.
We have a motion from Massey. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Buys. Cynthia, do you have any comments?
I just want to thank the guys for inserting what I asked for the last time.
Sure.
So, it's fine. Good, thank you.
Okay, Bert, anything?
Yeah, just one quick question. Why is it done every 3 years? Is that a state law, or it's just the way we do it?
No, it's in the highlighted section there. It's pretty well
State law.
stipulated. It's
State law,
every
okay.
3 years, yeah.
Okay. No, I have nothing else. Thanks.
That's part of the Texas Local Government Code. Alex, anything?
No, sir, thank you.
Alan?
Nothing, thanks.
Okay, no discussion. We'll call the question. All in favor?
Oh, Paul.
Oh, Paul. You still there, Paul?
technical difficulties now on his side. Yeah, he's having issues. Yeah,
He's having
he's
issues?
having the issues. Unmute yourself.
Can,
He's typing, hold on.
if you're on mute, unmute yourself, Paul. Otherwise, we're anxiously awaiting your input on the curfew ordinance. As a yay or a nay.
He's typing, hold on.
Yes.
It's just a three-letter word.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it really take that long?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the little thought bubble, it's just
Just put yes.
even just a Y. Yes, on curfew.
He doesn't know what we're all talking about.
Come on, Paul.
Well,
He's still typing.
is he?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Maybe he is having
Paul, just type yay or nay.
just a Y or an N.
Yeah.
He said, I am opposed to renewal. I think it is unnecessary. I will vote against it. So he's nay.
Ah, okay.
He's nay on what?
Got you down
On
as
that
nay.
last agenda?
So we have 4 ayes and 1 nay, the nay being Frederick's.
Why didn't he speak? Okay.
So you got that?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear my thought bubbles on his end.
So then we'll move on to number 8, discussion of an action on a resolution to approve the terms of the agreement between the City of Helotes and RX Technologies for the provision of information technology services. And this is something that Marion has worked out with RX to improve our position as far as what we're getting, and she negotiated a little lower price than what we've been paying. So kudos to Marion, and she and RX have hit it off fabulously. She's educating them on some things, as I understand it. But anyway, if we can have a motion and a second to discuss and take action on this proposed new agreement between the city and RX.
Mayor, I make a motion, we discuss and take action on 8.
We have a motion from Buys. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Fredericks. Thanks, Paul.
Yay!
I figure another half a dozen of these meetings and I'll remember you're over there. Okay. Bert, it's your motion, so do you have any discussion or questions for Marion?
Well, I just was going to ask her, about the laugh that she just did, but we'll go past that. No, thank you, Marion, for doing this. It looks like we're going to save about 14 grand a year over what we were paying before. Good job.
Paul, anything?
As long as staff is okay and they're getting the service that they think that they need from RX Technology, the little bit of interaction I've had with them, I haven't had any issues with them, but I certainly am not interacting with them on a regular basis. But if the staff feels that they are providing the service level, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm going to evaluate for the year. That's why we wrote the contract the way it is, to decide if we'll continue or if we'll put an RFP out after the year.
That it, Paul?
Yes, sir.
Cynthia?
Yeah, I actually looked through the whole thing, and believe it or not, I found a typo. They spelled Helotes wrong. And it's on, they spelled it on Appendix B, they put Helotes. So it's just a typo, and that's very easily fixed, but I went Helotes, and then I went, oh, it's supposed to be Helotes. But, no, I didn't know very much about this company, and so I looked to see that it's a family-owned business, is from what I understand.
Woman-owned.
Yeah, a woman, her son, and her husband, and they've been around for a while, so you know more about the things that we need than I do, but it looks like a very good agreement, and I do agree that 1 year is good to test it out.
Yeah.
Well, they've been doing the work for a number of years.
They have. They've been doing the work for a number of years, but we're trying a different approach and being more proactive instead of reactive. And so we're making a couple of changes. One of them being where we're designated one person to actually manage all the tickets and having one person per department, one in admin, one in fire and police that pulls all our tickets so that it is being more centralized. I also negotiated on-site, so there will be a technician every Thursday from 10 to 12 that walks the site, because sometimes I've noticed overseeing IT that people don't always tell you when their computer's broken until like 2-3 weeks later, and the problem has escalated, and it could have been an easy fix. And so when they actually visually see the technician, oh, I forgot, this isn't working, type of situation. So we can resolve it, and it's an easier fix, a cheaper, not as expensive fix. And so we can resolve the problem, and like I said, be more proactive instead of reactive.
And what you were saying is we're limiting the number of people from here that can contact them.
Exactly.
That was a big part of the problem, is too many people were just calling them for little things that didn't really pertain.
And when they were calling them, they weren't giving them all the information. So
Yeah.
we're teaching the ones that are calling them, this is all the information the techs need. Computer name, username, what department they're in, and what the error is, so that they have all that information.
Okay, Alex?
No, sir, as long as our staff is getting the service they need, I'm fine with it, thank you.
Yeah, they are. Alan?
I have no questions. I do like the fact, Marion, you saved us almost $14,000, and I appreciate that very much. I just want to make sure that the service that they provide reflects that the type of work they were doing or even better, even though we're paying them less to do it.
Actually, they're going to provide more service
Okay,
for less money.
okay. And I ran into one of those, I happened to be here at City Hall one day when one of their technicians was in the IT room. Talked to him briefly, and I was very impressed with the young man and his knowledge of the computer.
They do have really good technicians. In fact, a couple of the technicians I've worked with before, because they came from a previous IT managed services company that worked with me closely at my previous job.
Okay, very good. Thanks again.
It helps that Marion talks their lingo.
I'm glad she does.
And this is just one of several places where she's saved us some money, so it's working out well.
She's paying her salary.
Did I say that? Okay. Bert, any follow-up?
No, sir.
Any follow-up from anybody? Okay. Then we'll call the question to,
Paul?
oh, yeah, Paul?
No, I have nothing, thank you.
Okay, very good. Then we'll call the question to approve the new contract at the reduced price. All in favor, say aye.
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 Did I hear you say aye, Paul?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Then opposed, say no. There are no votes in opposition, so that new contract is approved unanimously. And that takes us to the end of our agenda. So if there are no objections to adjourning, I'll go ahead and adjourn. Any objections? Nobody wants to stay longer? Okay, we're adjourned at 7:52.